So, TCG players, you want to learn how to play Alpha Clash. Well, here it is. We're going to show you how to play Alpha Clash along with some of the new and updated rules. Let's get into it. Alright, TCG players and people want to know, maybe this might be a refresher for you. Maybe this is your first time stopping in. If you are, I want to say, hey, welcome. And if you like these videos, you like this tutorial on how to play the game, go ahead and hit that like button. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it helps the channel out for us to continue to grow and bring you content like this every day, every week. I'm not sure yet, but I post videos all the time. But again, Alpha Clash is a superhero TCG created by Rising Empire Studios. I pray I'm saying that right. I don't know why I keep wanting to say other things. But Alpha Clash, I'll say it blends all of the best features of different card games that you're familiar with into one epic game. I'd say the biggest thing it relates to is Dragon Ball Super and Magic the Gathering. So, you got some Alpha Clash cards. Maybe you picked up one of the Clash kits from our website or from Team Covenant. You got that. Now you want to know, how do you play it? Well, first things first, you would need a couple different things. You'll need your favorite contender with the affiliation that you would like to play with, a 50-card deck, a portal card, which is a new introduction into the game, and also always say having some dice and also some counters work beautifully for this game. All right, so what we're going to do is we have our decks already shuffled up here. So again, you have your deck area, Oblivion, which is your graveyard, contender area where your contender will sit, Clash Zone, where you play your Clash cards to do battles, Accessory Zone, where your accessories will go as marked on the cards, and your resource or your mana pool. Then you have your standby, so whenever you play a Clash card, it will go into the standby area. And then this is a older map, but you have an area for your portal card. Now, the portal does activate. You can either pay 2 resources to activate it, or there are certain cards that will activate the portal for you, which will give different effects depending if it's closed or open. Okay, so to start off a game of Alpha Clash, you will draw 8 cards from the top of your deck without looking at them. I mean, you can look at them, but 8 cards. Perfect. And then this game does have a mulligan system. So you can look at your hand and you can put cards back into your deck that you don't want. So again, a good hand is things that you can be able to play cards from your hand into your resource zone, and also be able to play cards to keep that mana curve going. I am going to actually keep my hand for this demonstration.
I'm going to shuffle 3 back. Cut. And because I put 3 back, I get to draw 3 new ones.
Now that we're all shuffled up, we'll go ahead and roll a die, or you can pick anyway how you want to choose who goes first or second. We're going to do it. Whoever gets the highest roll will automatically go first. But in official games, the person who wins does get to pick if they go first or second. I have a 2.
Three.
Perfect. Now that we all decide who goes first, we have our contenders. We have our life counter here. Both our contenders have 30 health. And once that health reduces down to 0, the person who still has health wins the game. There are other win conditions in Alpha Clash, such as deck out, and a new Haven card that if it gets 25 counters on it, you automatically win the game. But for this one, we're just going to go pure 30 health. Whoever gets down to 0 first, they lose the game. So go ahead.
Right,
So first person does not get to draw a card, and your steps will go your expansion phase, ready step, draw step, resource step.
Okay, so I don't have anything ready. I skip my draw. I'll play 1 resource.
And if you notice, the card is placed face up that way. You know that's in your mana, and that's the card you can use to tap to play different cards from your hand.
Then I'm going to play a Clash Ground. His trigger, when he enters, I can look at the top card of either deck. back. And then that'll be my turn.
Perfect. So my turn, friend phase, ready. And then I can draw, and then resource. And then I will set a trap accessory face down in my accessory zone. Now, only trap cards can be set face down in your accessory, and they can be activated when the timing of the card is correct. And with that, I will go ahead and just pass my turn.
Alright, so draw. I will do one resource and pass my turn.
All right, I will ready, draw, and then resource, where I will go ahead and add a white resource. So now I can play cards that are either black or white. So I will go ahead and tap a white resource. So I can play the 1-cost Haven, and it goes into my standby phase, and I give my opponent any time to respond to this card being played.
No response.
So once that is done, it goes to your clash zone, and once it goes to your clash zone, anything that says trigger enter, that effect will now activate. So Haven allows me to draw one new card from my deck. And now I'm going to go ahead and move my primary phase into my clash phase. So I can go ahead and declare attack with Haven. So Haven has an attack stat of 1 and defense stat of 2. Whenever it attacks anything, they deal damage to each other simultaneously. So you go to attack step, counter step, obstruct step, attacker's clash buff, and defender's clash buff. So what that means, once I declare an attack, any cards that say trigger attack will activate. The counter step, any card that says counter attack will activate. And then obstruct is your defense step. We'll get to that when we get some more cards in the field. So I'm going to go 1-2 to your contender, which is 1-0.
No counters.
And I have no buffs.
No buffs.
So now that we are established that, damage is now dealt. So the contender will deal 1 damage back to Haven, and Haven will deal 1 damage to the contender. And since the difference is 1, the contender loses 1 health. At the end of the battle, all damage that is dealt, it is reset. So Haven's back to a 1-2. And I will go ahead and end my turn.
I'll draw. Play 1 red resource. I'll tap 2 black, 1 red. And play Death. The Relentless.
And at this time, I can find anything that I can counter, but I do not, so it can resolve.
And then I will go ahead and attack with Death the Relentless to contender for 2-3.
I have no counters and no obstructs.
No buffs.
So then I will take 2 damage. Reason why I take 2, the attack is 2 and my defense is 0, so I take that difference.
And turn.
And then draw. I will then go ahead and play another resource. And then I will go ahead, tap 1 to play Conquest.
No.
And next I will have Haven attack the contender again.
No counters.
No buffs.
No buffs for me.
And that turn will end.
Alrighty. Draw. Play 1 resource. I will tap 1 red to play Outcome. Deal 2 damage. I'm gonna go 2 here.
Okay. Now, this is a basic action. Basic action can only be played during your primary phase. And what it does is you can deal 2 damage. So now there are two types of damage that you can deal in a game of Alpha Clash. You have clash damage, which is when your clash cards attack, and non-clash damage, which comes from effects. So this one would deal 2 damage, and then once my card hits zero defense, it is immediately destroyed.
And because it was defeated, I get to create a token. So I get a little war minion. Then I will go ahead and attack for 2/3 to contender.
I have no obstructs.
No obstruction or no buffs.
And then I will go ahead and just take the damage.
Turn.
Now that we're starting to get the hang of the game, let's start to speed some things up here. I'll go ahead and get another black resource. And then I will go ahead and tap 2 to play Death the Dreadful.
You're good.
Now, Death Dreadful enters, her trigger enter is, I may activate the portal. So now I can flip the portal from closed to open, which would then trigger any effects that goes off when the portal is open. Now, I'll have Death attack into Death. Now, this is Clash to Clash card. Now, remember, they will deal damage to each other, but now I'll go to the counter step. Do you have any counters to play?
No counters.
Would you like to obstruct?
No obstructs.
I will go ahead and I will Clash buff by tapping 1 black to play Restoration. Clash buffs are, again, they're cards that can be activated during a buff step. Each deck can only contain 4 Clash cards, and their conditions to be met is that my contender has to be a black and a Harbinger affiliation. Now, this one would give my card +2/+2, and I can then grab a card from my Oblivion and play it into defense mode. I'm sorry, you can play it engage, not defense. I'll think about Yu-Gi-Oh! So now I am 2/2.
Yeah.
Perfect. So since it dealt 2 damage back to me, I only did 2. I will lose, but then it will activate my death skill and also my contender skill. Where when this card is defeated, I can take 2 life to draw a brand new card, and then my death can engage itself to give a card +1/+1, and I can draw a new card.
What was your original attack? I'm sorry.
2/1.
And
Oh, sorry, 3. Yeah,
2,
3.
2?
Yeah, so
Or
that's
1/1?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did math wrong.
Yeah. But she does have a effect trigger that goes off when she is defeated. I can search the same card out of my deck. Did I find it?
And I will cut.
Go ahead.
And then now I will have Haven attack for 2/3 to contender.
I'll take the 2.
And with that, my turn comes to an end. And then any additional effects that were gained, they will reside at the end of the turn.
Stand. Draw. And pay 2. And play Death. She is reduced by 1 because I have an extra copy in my Oblivion. I will go ahead and go 2/3 to Haven.
Okay, I have no counters.
No buffs.
So Haven will then be defeated because its defense was reduced to 0.
And that'll be turn.
And I will go ahead and reset everything to draw a brand new card. I will go ahead and play Death, and then I will tap 3 to play my own copy of Death the Relentless. And a response?
A response.
And this, I will go ahead and end my turn.
Ready everything. Draw. I'm going to skip the resource phase. I'll pay 2 and play Flare.
I will then activate a counterplay, which is Sharpshooter Moxie. By playing 1 black energy, I can activate this trap card to send this card to Oblivion. Now, when the card is sent from Oblivion in the standby phase, any effects that activate, like Trigger Defeat, do not go off.
I set 1 card and end my turn.
Draw. I'll go ahead and play a Death Agent of Dark. And then I will go ahead and do 4 to play my Clash Ground, which is Death's Door. Now, once another new Clash Ground is played, any Clash Grounds that are out are immediately sent to Oblivion.
And this has an effect when it leaves play, each player draws 1 card.
Now, since my card has entered, it has additional effect, where it deals 3 damage to both players. Now, I will go ahead and pass my turn now to have nothing to play because both cards can be blocked, and this card deals no damage to that 0 attack.
You're ready. Draw. I will tap 3. Nope. I will tap 2 and play another Death Relentless.
I have no response.
And I'll go ahead and attack 2/3 to Contender.
I will obstruct.
Okay.
Obstruct is a way you can defend. If your card is unengaged, you can then have it block incoming attacks. So then it goes back to the opponent to see if they would like to clash buff.
No buffs.
And I will not buff as well. So then my card is now defeated. But then my Death's Door has special ability. Whenever one of my clash cards is sent to Oblivion, the opponent loses 1 life.
That would be turn.
Draw. Now I will tap 2 white and then 4 black to meet the cost requirements to play Clarity. Clarity has a special ability that is unrivaled, meaning that this can be the only copy included in my deck and in my sideboard. But Clarity has a very special skill. Trigger Enter. Each opponent sends a clash card they control to Oblivion.
I will send my War Minion.
And now, Clarity skill will activate. I can leave the top card. Oh, I'm sorry. This will activate and this one will activate. Since you lost 1 of yours, I gain a health. And then Clarity, I can leave the top card of my deck. And I can either add to my hand or place it at the bottom and then draw a card. Now, I will pass turn. Now we're getting into the game.
Draw. I will play 2. Play Bone Armor.
Bone Armor is a weapon card. And that's another card. It's an accessory that be played only can be played face up in the search zone. And each weapon requires you to pay a little bit more resources, unless stated otherwise, to attach to a card.
And I'm gonna go 2/3.
And then I will go ahead and obstruct.
Okay.
So now they're both 2/3, and they deal simultaneously damage to each other, so they're both not defeated.
I will tap 2. Go ahead and attach this one to that one. Send this one to Oblivion.
And now my Death Door skill will activate. You will lose a life.
I'll tap her. I'll give this card +1/+1, and I get to draw a card. She is going to be 3/4 here.
No counters.
No buffs.
This card will then go to Oblivion, and the skill will activate for me as well. I can then add one copy, and then I will go ahead and trigger some of my other effects. So since I did lose a card, I gain a life. Then I will go ahead and activate Death Skill to engage it and draw a new card.
Attack.
Now everything has been reset. So I will draw. And then next up, I will go ahead and play with 6 resources, Death the Endbringer.
Her name just sounds very unpleasing.
Oh yes, this would be most fun for both of us. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and have Clarity attack the contender for 5/5.
You got nothing. No buffs.
I have no buffs as well. Then next, I'll have Death to Endbringer attack for 4. And then now I'll move to the end phase and pass turn.
It's done.
But hold on. You've been wondering why the portal is being open so important. Death Endbringer has special skill. At the start of my opponent's turn, if the portal is open, they must send one Oblivion card, one Clash card to Oblivion.
Can you say it again?
And since that happened, I gain a life.
I will tap 1 red, play Flare. I will set 1 card, and I will end my turn.
At the start of my turn, if the portal is open, I can choose one Clash card and bring it back. And for this turn, it gets +2/+2. I will draw. Then I will also place a card into the resource. And then for 2, to bring out my death. And then also for 5, to bring out another death. And this death has an enter effect. When it enters, I can I can send one Clash card that's 3 or less to Oblivion. And since that happened, this card does gain +1/+1, and then I gain a life due to Death's Door, and then Clarity skill goes off. So I will go ahead and look at the top card of my deck, and I will actually put this one into my hand. Now, let's move into the bat. Let's do some battling. I'm going to go 4-3 to your contender.
Take the 4.
And with that, I'll go ahead and pass turn.
Draw. I'll go ahead and do her 10 skill. Say 2 or less.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and go flare into here.
I will not counter.
I'm going to Clash buff. Pay 1 black. She will get +1/+1, and I can bring back a 1 cost. So I'm 2/3.
I will then just allow this to go. And when Death Dreadful leaves, I have a couple things that go off. One, you will lose a health, and then I'll have you lose 2 more health to draw a new card.
No! Turn.
I will ready.
Oh, I got victory, so your contender takes 1 more damage. Sorry.
So target victory is an effect you always remember to activate. When you win a clash battle, that's when target victory activates. So let's go ahead and start my turn by bringing back and let's have 2 to bring out another Death the Dreadful. And let's have it attack into the flare.
No counters.
No buffs.
No buffs.
All right, perfect. So we both will deal damage to each other, and then I will activate Death's Door to deal a damage, and then I also will let you take 2 life to draw a new card.
Oh, I appreciate it so much.
And then Deathbringer skill activates, and as well as Clarity skill activates. Next up, I'm going to have my Death with the Flight ability go over to your contender. Flight can only be obstructed by cards that have Flight or have Intercept. So think of Reach and Magic.
No counters.
No buffs.
No buffs.
So then now you'll take 3 damage, and you went down to 0. And once you're at 0, the game is over. So again, if you enjoyed this and you liked it and you stuck around to the end, let me know down in the comment section below if you understand Alpha Clash a bit more. But stick around for the next video that's going to be the next tagline coming up, where we play the game at full speed without any interruptions to see how these two decks can do.
I don't care. Majority.